Welcome to the world of science fiction stories, and don't forget to like, share and subscribe my channel. Enjoy the listening. We gave one warning: their empire didn't survive our retaliation. Commander Jack Miller stood at the viewing window of the Earth Defense Fleet flagship Defender, watching the alien ships approach. They were unlike anything humans had ever seen before: smooth, dark metal that seemed to absorb light rather than reflect it, with strange patterns that glowed blue along their hulls. "They're hailing us again, sir," said Lieutenant Dan, the communications officer. Miller nodded. "Put them through." The main screen flickered to life, showing a creature that still made Miller's skin crawl even after 3 previous meetings. The Vex had pale gray skin that looked almost like stone, with 4 black eyes arranged in a diamond pattern. Their mouths were small and lipless, more like slits in their faces than proper mouths. "We are pleased to continue our talks," Commander Crone said in his oddly flat voice. Miller replied with a polite nod. "The feeling is mutual." It wasn't, not really. Something about the Vex made Miller uneasy, but he was a soldier following orders. Earth needed allies, not enemies, especially now that humans had spread to several colony worlds. "We request permission to dock for face-to-face discussions," Crone said. "Permission granted. We'll meet you in docking bay 3. An hour later, Miller stood watching as the Vex shuttle connected to the Defender. 5 Vex officials walked out, moving with that strange, too smooth gait that made them look almost like machines rather than living beings. "Welcome aboard," Miller said, giving the greeting gesture that the Vex had taught them, right hand flat against the chest. Crone returned the gesture. "We bring greetings from the High Council. They are most interested in forming an alliance with humans." "As are we," Miller said. "Please follow me to the conference room." As they walked through the ship's corridors, Miller noticed how the Vex turned their heads to watch the crew members they passed. Their black eyes seemed to linger, especially long on Ensign Roberts, who was showing pictures of her newborn baby to another crew member. "You have young on this vessel?" Crone asked suddenly. "No," Miller replied. "We don't bring children on military ships." Ensign Roberts was just showing pictures of her baby, who is back on Earth with family. "Fascinating," Crone said. "Your species shows great attachment to your offspring." "Of course we do," Miller said, feeling slightly confused. "Don't the Vex care for their young?" Miller asked. "Our reproduction is different," Crone replied. "But we find human family structures most interesting." The meeting went well, at least on the surface. The Vex agreed to a basic peace treaty and trade agreement. They seemed especially interested in cultural exchange, asking many questions about human society. "We noticed that humans expend considerable resources on their young," said one of the Vex officials named Mech. "They seem remarkably inefficient. They cannot contribute to society for many years." Miller felt a strange chill at the way Mech said this. "Children are our future. Every human society puts great value on protecting and educating our children, even to the point of sacrificing adult lives." "Interesting," Crone said. "We would like to learn more about human children. I can provide educational materials about human development," offered Dr. Linda Reed, the ship's chief science officer. "That would be acceptable," said Crone. Later, in Miller's office, Dr. Reed voiced her concerns. "They ask too many questions about our children," she said. "It feels wrong." Miller nodded. "I've had the same feeling. But the High Command wants this treaty signed." "I added a special clause to the treaty," Reed said. "It specifically mentions that any harm to human children would be considered the gravest possible violation." "Good thinking," Miller said. "Though I can't imagine why any species would deliberately harm children." The next day, the treaty was signed. The main points were simple: non-aggression, trade rights, and respect for each species' territory and colonies. "We look forward to a long and beneficial relationship," said Crone as the ceremony concluded. "As do we," Miller replied. "But I want to make one thing very clear. Humans value our children above all else. Any harm to them would be considered the worst possible offense. Crone's 4 eyes blinked slowly. We understand, Commander. Rest assured we have no interest in your offspring beyond scientific curiosity about their development. As the Vex prepared to leave, Miller watched them with unease. Something still felt off, but he couldn't put his finger on what it was. Safe journey, he said as Crone boarded the shuttle. Until we meet again, Crone replied. From the viewing window, Miller watched the Vex ships pull away, their strange blue patterns glowing against the blackness of space. I don't trust them, Reed said, standing beside him. Neither do I, admitted Miller. But orders are orders. At least we have the treaty now. What neither of them could see was what happened inside the Vex command ship. In a secure communication chamber, Crone activated a hidden channel. First contact phase complete, Crone reported. The humans are as we expected, technologically advanced but held back by their emotional attachments. What if they're young? Asked a voice from the other end. They are indeed the key, said Crone. Humans will do anything to protect their children. This can be useful. Proceed with the next phase, ordered the voice. Identify the most isolated human colony. We need specimens for study. Already done, said Crone, bringing up a star map. A small colony called Horizon. Recently established. Minimal defenses. Excellent. We will wait 3 cycles to avoid suspicion, then proceed. The humans' emotional weakness will be their undoing. As the Vex ships jumped to faster-than-light speed, Commander Miller stood watching the empty space where they had been. He couldn't shake the feeling that something terrible had just begun. 3 years had passed since the treaty with the Vex was signed. On the frontier colony world of Horizon, life had fallen into a comfortable routine. The planet had rich soil, clean water, and a climate that reminded many settlers of Earth's temperate regions. Tom Green wiped sweat from his forehead as he finished repairing the colony's water filtration system. Before moving to Horizon, he had been an engineer on Earth's military vessels. Now he used those skills to help build a new home for his family and the 200 other colonists. Dad! Dad, come look what I found. Tom smiled as his 8-year-old daughter Emma ran toward him, her brown hair bouncing with each step. She held something cupped carefully in her small hands. What did you find, sweetheart? He asked, kneeling down to her level. Emma slowly opened her hands to reveal a small creature that looked like a cross between a butterfly and a lizard. Its wings glittered with rainbow colors in the sunlight. It's a flutter lizard, Tom said. They're native to this planet. It's so pretty, Emma said, eyes wide with wonder. Can I keep it? Better to let it go, Tom said gently. Wild things need to be free. Emma nodded and opened her hands. The creature fluttered its wings and flew away. They both watched it disappear into the sky. Mom says dinner is almost ready, Emma said. She made real potatoes today from our garden. I'll be right there, Tom promised. Just need to finish this connection. Later that evening, Tom sat on the porch of their prefabricated home with his wife, Lisa. They watched Emma playing with the other colony children in the central green area of the settlement. She's growing so fast, Lisa said, leaning against Tom's shoulder. I'm glad we made the decision to come here. It's a good place for her to grow up. Tom nodded. Clean air, space to run, other kids her age, better than those crowded city towers on Earth. Suddenly, the colony's warning siren blared to life, making them both jump. What's that? Lisa asked, fear edging into her voice. Tom was already on his feet. Unscheduled ship approaching. The colony's communication system crackled, unidentified vessel entering orbit. All citizens, please return to your homes until we confirm their identity. Parents rushed to gather their children from the green. Tom ran toward Emma, who looked confused by the sudden activity. Come on, honey, he said, taking her hand. We need to go inside for a bit. They had almost reached their home when the sky darkened. Tom looked up and felt his blood turn cold. A massive ship hung above them, unlike any human vessel he had ever seen. Its dark hull absorbed the sunlight, with blue patterns glowing along its sides. "Vex," he whispered. The ship was not alone. 3 smaller craft detached from it and descended toward the colony. Colony security forces moved into position, but they were few, only 5 trained soldiers with basic weapons. This was supposed to be a peaceful colony, not a military outpost. "All civilians inside," shouted the head of security. Tom hurried Emma and Lisa into their home and locked the door. He moved to a hidden panel in the wall and opened it, revealing a small pulse rifle, a remnant from his military days that he had brought along, just in case. "Tom," Lisa's voice trembled. "What are they doing here?" "I don't know," he said, checking the rifle's charge. "But the Vex signed a treaty. They can't just—" A blinding flash of light cut him off. The windows shattered and a strange humming filled the air. Tom felt himself unable to move, some kind of stasis field. Through the window, he could see the same happening across the colony. People froze in place, looks of terror on their faces. The Vex ships landed in the colony center. Tall gray figures emerged from the ships, moving with purpose, checking homes and buildings. Tom struggled against the invisible force holding him, but couldn't move an inch. He could only watch. "Daddy, I'm scared," Emma whimpered beside him, also caught in the field but able to make small sounds. "It's going to be okay, sweetheart," Tom said, though he had no idea if that was true. The door to their home crashed open. 2 Vex entered, their 4 black eyes surveying the room coldly. One pointed a device at Emma. "Suitable subject," it said in a flat voice. "Age and development optimal. Don't you touch her." Tom shouted, still unable to move. "We have a treaty." The Vex ignored him. One approached Emma and placed a small disc on her forehead. She slumped immediately, unconscious. "No!" Lisa screamed. The Vex picked up Emma's limp body and carried her out. Tom fought with every ounce of his strength against the stasis field, but it held firm. Through the window, he could see similar scenes across the colony. The Vex were taking children, only children, from their homes. After what seemed like hours but was probably only minutes, the stasis field suddenly dropped. Tom fell forward, catching himself on the table. He grabbed his rifle and ran outside, but it was too late. The Vex ships were already lifting off, taking their precious cargo with them. The colony's central communication tower had been damaged but not destroyed. Tom sprinted toward it, joining other desperate parents who had the same idea. The colony's administrator, an older man named James, was already trying to send a distress signal. "They took 12 children," he said, voice shaking with rage and fear, including Emma. "I'm sorry, Tom." Tom pushed past him and grabbed the communication controls. As a former military engineer, he knew exactly how to boost the signal to reach Earth faster. "This is Horizon Colony," he transmitted. "We are under attack by Vex forces. They have abducted 12 of our children, ages 6 to 10. Request immediate assistance. Repeat, Vex have taken our children." As he worked, a message appeared on all screens in the colony, showing a Vex face, one Tom recognized from news reports about the treaty signing 3 years ago. Ambassador Crone's image flickered on every display. "People of Horizon Colony," Crone's voice said. "We have collected specimens for study. Your young ones will be returned once our research is complete. Do not attempt rescue or retaliation. This is a scientific mission only." The message ended, leaving stunned silence behind. "Specimens," Lisa whispered, having followed Tom to the communication tower. "They called our children specimens." Tom's hands clenched into fists. He had seen what the Vex ships could do. He knew the kind of weapons they had. The colony had nothing that could chase them, nothing that could fight them. But he also knew something the Vex apparently didn't understand: what humans were capable of when their children were threatened. "I will find her," Tom promised, pulling Lisa close. "I don't care what it takes. I don't care if I have to build a ship myself. I will find Emma and bring her home." In orbit around Horizon, Crone watched the colony through the ship's sensors. The humans were sending distress signals as expected. It would take days for those signals to reach Earth, and days more for any help to arrive. By then, the research would be well underway. "Begin preliminary testing on the specimens," Crone ordered. "I want to know everything about how human young respond to stress and fear." What Crone failed to understand was that the Vex had just crossed the one line humans had explicitly warned them never to cross. They were about to learn exactly what that meant.